Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. I'm just waiting for my guests to get here. I think there's a couple of little bugs or something going on. So I decided, well, I'll come on and say hi, and we'll get started here as we figure out the issues. So let's start with the obvious. Have you seen Superman yet? I went Friday night, and I will be giving a full review. There might be a spoiler or two, so they're just warning on my Sunday Superman show this weekend. So if you haven't seen it yet, I really recommend you go see this because this movie was better than I expected, and I think that everybody out there should give it a shot because you know everybody's paid money for movies they don't like. Go give this one a try. I just thought it was pretty good. Okay. Let's say hi to everybody who's here at the moment. We've got Robbie Josephs. Hi, Robbie. And we've got Kay Munin. Hi, Kay Munin. And yes, I did see your comment earlier. I knew you would enjoy it, and I was smiling when I saw it. So I didn't have a chance to respond to it yet. Work was a little busy. Let's see. Jeffrey Darcy, welcome to the show. And we have Lyle in the house. Hi, Lyle. I hope your wife's doing much better. It's good. Well, we've got Rich here. Hi, Rich. Good to see you. And everybody's just so. While we wait for Carolyn to get with us, I thought maybe I would take some time and show you some books that I pulled out recently. Hi, Dope. Welcome to the show. That I pulled out recently that I was looking at and I was thinking of doing a members video about, but realized that it's probably a better everybody video. I pulled out these books because I was feeling good about the movie. This is the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow series. This is issue 1, which a lot of people have seen, and is the cover for the what's it called? The cover for the trade paperback. If you don't have it, and we've got issue 2. Which is also pretty cool. If you've seen my Instagram the last couple days, you know I've been sort of posting them. Issue 3. Issue 4. If you hear the noise upstairs, I apologize. My son's walking around. And he walks like an elephant. Issue 5. Issue 6. I was very, very pleased. I was very, very pleased to see Millie Alcock in the movie. Her little scene was pretty cool. I will talk about that in more detail on Sunday, but it was a lot of fun. And here is the last issue, issue 8, and this is the one, another cover that people are looking at a lot, and I would. Kay Munin, if you saw some of the stories that they're taking it from, including the one I just showed you, it makes sense. Okay. I know that you yourself are not a huge DC person and therefore haven't, probably read a lot of these books, but it seems to be that there are a lot of stories that they're taking this from, including some Brave and the Bold issues that came out in 2005, I want to say, about 2004, 2005, when Brave and the Bold had a second or third series, and there was a storyline where Lobo was hanging out with Supergirl, and Lobo was constantly hitting on Supergirl, and Supergirl was like, oh my God, stop it, I'm 17. And it was kind of funny. So let's see here. Lyle says, I'll wait till Superman comes on TV. Dope says he saw it for $5. I paid probably, I've probably paid a pretty penny. I can't tell you how much I paid because I didn't buy the tickets. My wife's friend did, and my wife reimbursed. So I am planning on going again soon when I can find some time. But well, actually, K Munin, considering the movie, I think, and again, I really not, I don't want to get into it because I want to make sure I have topics for my Superman show, but it absolutely makes sense for what they want to do for the next movie. And as you can tell by the covers, especially cover one here, it also makes sense to refer to Crypto as her dog because Crypto canonically has always preferred younger people to adults, which is why like he was a big person with Connor Kent when Connor Kent got into it. I'm simply stating, K Mutant, you can say anything you want. I'm just saying we're going on. Hi, Mike from Casino Comics. Good to see you. There was another thing that I wanted to say. I'm finally hearing back from some of the people who won in my 600 subs draw. So I'm going to, for those that are listening or whatever, I am going to put those together and send them out in the next week and a half or so, just as I get organized. I'm finally back from my vacations. I'm finally back from my trips to Comic Cons. I am now in a position that I can start looking at stuff, and I'll be very happy to take care of that when I get there. So let's see if we've heard from our guest. Nope. So let us continue here. I'm going to show a little books. We'll have some discussion. If there anything out there anybody wants to discuss, we'll bring it up. Son of Satan number 6. I bought this at a con about a month and a half ago. Bought this weekend, this past weekend at the 2 weeks ago. It's 2 weeks ago already. 2 weekends ago already. Montreal Comic Con. This was Defenders 48. I bought a whole bunch of Defenders books. I have read and filed most, but I did have a cool thing. I managed to FF4. Fantastic. Dope. I am hoping to get to the movies. I am going to go to Fantastic Four first and then Superman again. I want to make sure I see the FF on the big screen. Thank you very much, Lyle. Adam did a wonderful job. For those that haven't seen, I've found a place for Adam's picture. I was able in Montreal to find all the last books I needed to finish this Wonder Woman run of Rebirth. So I now have every book from that series. Very stupidly, I did not buy it when it came out, and I should have, because the series has been absolutely great, especially the first half of it. If you're not going to read any part of it, I recommend reading 1 to 50 and then 750 to about 775. It was one of those series that renumbered when they got to the legacy number. Hi, Carrie. Good to see you here. I'm not sure if Carolyn is going to join us at this point. I haven't heard from her. I did text her. So let's see what we can do tonight. Did anybody pick this up last week? This one has an interesting, it has a reference to a character that was Supergirl centric and hasn't been shown in about 50 years. Adventure Comics 313 had Supergirl exposed to a piece of red kryptonite that split her into two. And one of them was her, and the other half became a character by the name of Satan Girl to try and siphon off the red kryptonite radiation in her so that she could live. And so what happened was, sure enough, She didn't succeed, and Supergirl became one again. But they bring back they actually brought back the character of Satan Girl in this one when Supergirl gets exposed to black kryptonite in this, and I was like, oh, this is cool. 3 issues in with this Supergirl series, and you can already tell that the author is a big Supergirl fan from way back, because she's bringing back everything. Yes, well, New Comic Day is tomorrow, so for those that make the weekly trip like myself, I can't wait. However, my car's in the shop, and I'm not sure I'm going to have it back in time. I might have to go Thursday, which kind of makes it a little difficult sometimes. So, is there anything out there that anybody would like to talk about or have a discussion about? My favorite Marvel series and series run? Well, my favorite series is this, The Defenders. And basically the entire run of The Defenders is great, because in The Defenders is my favorite Marvel character, the son of Satan. So I hope that answers your question there, Carrie. Next up, we've got Robbie Josephs. Matt, and who, in your opinion, was the better Superman, George Reeves or Dean Cain? Well, Dean Cain was good. I'd say he was very good as Clark Kent. Every episode of Lois and Clark had such little, I want to say, screen time for him in the Superman outfit, that I would have to say George Reeves was the better Superman. But I think George Reeves was also the better actor than Dean Cain. I always have a soft spot for Dean Cain because he was a Buffalo Bill very briefly. But at the same time, I don't think it's a case of we have a very fun guy and a very fun guy right there. So George Reeves is better because he felt more natural in the role, but Dean Cain did play off well on Terry Hatcher and therefore was a good Superman. But I would think if given a choice, I'd rather watch the 1950s serials. Yes, I did watch that clip of George Reeves on the Lucille Ball's show there, Lyle. I've seen that episode many times, actually. It's one of my favorite episodes of all time because it has Superman, it has comedy, and I like it very much. They are always they're always fun. So let's see here. Here is one of the Defenders books that I bought in Montreal as well. I'm trying to, as I say, I probably got about 20% of the run now. I managed to get about 8 or 9 from there in this thing. What I found in Montreal, and there are some videos of me doing stuff. Hi, Lord of Brooklyn, welcome to the show. There's some videos of me. There's a video of me walking around in Montreal Comic Con. What I found difficult was that there was no way I was able to look in the boxes, and that was kind of sad while I was recording like this, because I don't have something like Mike does on Lunch Money Comics where he manages to hold the thing, because I don't go to as many shows as he does. And also, there was a lot of kids around as the closer to the things, the closer to the actual stalls. There was a lot of kids in Montreal, and I personally don't like. I try to avoid putting kids on my camera as much as possible. It's just a personal thing. But I hope everybody saw my my interviews that I had with Dan Parent and Richard Comley and Sammy Francis. Everybody knows how good Dan Parent is. I mean, like, I doubt there's anybody out there that I'm talking to that doesn't have an issue in his somewhere in their collections. Where in my case, like Richard Comely, of course, has made one of the most iconic Canadian characters ever. And it's the 50th anniversary of Captain Canuck. So it's why he's making the tour this year. And that is very cool. That would make a great collection there, Carrie. That it would be a very expensive collection, but a very good collection. So one of the other things that I'm working on when I go to conventions is I was lucky. Now, most everybody out there I know concentrates on comic books, and that's fine. But I've always been an old softy when it comes to shows. And unfortunately, I don't know Lord of Brooklyn. She hasn't responded to us asking if everything's okay. So this is my Will Shatner autograph. I got a chance to meet. Thanks for joining me, Mike. They're joining us here. And I've got Kim Yoon. I saw your question. I'm getting there. One of the first things that I gravitate towards is I like to actually, before I get before I get broke, as I say, I like to see what T-shirts there are to con. I have not there used to be a T-shirt guy. I can't remember his name, but he came to the Ottawa Comic Con every year, and I was buying 2 or 3 T-shirts for me and my kids every year. And then, when COVID hit, he hasn't been back. So I was a little disappointed. So one of the first things that I did when I was in Montreal after filming and getting my, setting up for my interviews and such, was I went looking for T-shirts, and I got a couple. I have to show them later. I got a Supergirl one and a Superman one. And I was very happy to get those because it had been a long time since I had been on. I had gotten new T-shirts, and I had definitely wanted to. The second thing is, if there are no T-shirts, I like to go around to the people I don't know first, because I do have a tendency of knowing and remembering what the people that I usually shop from in Ottawa, I tend to know what they have, what they bring to shows. And so I will go to them after because I know what I'm looking for with them and what they're probably going to have. I like to check out the new people first because I don't know what to expect. I love seeing and I like to walk around to see if there are dollar bins and or what the wall books are, because the prices on the wall books, of course, give me an idea of what the prices in the boxes will probably be if they're a little overpriced like they were in Montreal for books that definitely did not meet the standard for being overpriced. There was I was a little disappointed because there's only about 2 or 3 guys that had any Golden Age books. And hi, Darth Lopez. Good to see you. Glad you can make it. I get disappointed because I was disappointed because I was hoping to see some Golden Age superhero just to see if I could afford to get one or, what was available. Well, the only Golden Age superhero I saw was Captain Marvel. That was extremely overpriced. They wanted like $250 a book. And these are books that probably would go for $50, $60. I'm sure there was a room for negotiation and such, but I agree with you, TM Nerdy. It's 90s fault. But the fact is that they didn't get there. It didn't happen. So I didn't. Hey, Biggie. So I ended up not buying anything off the wall. I did buy some good quality books, though. I got this one off of. I'm not sure if you guys out there know who Harley Yee is, but he's a big time dealer in early silver and golden age, who is also, like Stephen, a Overstreet advisor. Now, he wasn't there at the show, but his people were and his comics were. And I got this. This is Inferior 5 number 4. And according to, I haven't looked at it yet, but according to the sticker, it's a 9.0. And I will, from looking at the cover and the side or whatever, I have seen one spine tick. I would say that this is probably right, as long as the interior 5 is good on the inferior 5. So I am going to be checking it out very soon, as I bought the inferior 5 book for a video that I'm planning on recording and researching very soon. So now let's see, what were the condition of the Captain Marvels? That is a good question, Robbie. They were all raw, so I didn't get a visual number. If they had been CGC, then I probably would have accepted the 250, 300, but they were raw. And I'm curious. I was curious myself, but I don't want to be handling books that I have absolutely no. I don't want to say desire, because I want Captain Marvel books, but I don't want to be handling books unnecessarily that I know I'm not going to buy. And Lyle, that's really cool. I'm glad to see that. Actually, the reason I got that particular photo was that everybody was stealing. There was one of him with the Gorn, okay, and everybody who's watched Star Trek or seen jokes about it knows the scene I'm referring to. Okay, hi Cliff. Hi Celia. Glad you guys could make it tonight. So they were all taking this picture. So when I got up there, there was literally one left. And I thought to myself, well, this is basically the one that he's signing for everybody. So I decided to get one from the other show I really like him in, and that's Boston Legal. As someone who is very interested in the law and actually went to school to become a law clerk, I have always liked legal shows. So I got one of him as his Denny Lane persona, and I was very happy. The next day was the Shatner panel, and I really enjoyed that too. And yes, Robbie, that is true. The inferior 5 are a lot of fun. Can this book cool me down on a fan? So, I am glad to see everybody who came out tonight. Are there any more questions in the chat? If not, I could tell more stories. I mean, I'll be on for a little while longer. I don't think Caroline is going to join us at this point. So we will make do, because if there's one thing I've learned about live TV, you never know what's going to happen. Oh, our other guest is here. Here is Invisible Woman, who is going to perform mime for us. I'm kidding, of course. Some of the books that I had bought recently actually, I've got one here. Another thing I did get a chance to do but I wasn't able to put on camera for the same reason that he didn't allow us to tape it. He would allow pictures, but he wasn't allowing taping. And I got to meet Jim Starlin, and I got him. He was the main artist, a penciler for all these TRS-80 computer books that Nate and I have been making a lot of jokes about. And I got him to sign. It's right here is the signature, Jim Starlin. I have a Jim Starlin signed Superman TRS-80 Kids book, and I was actually very happy to get that. That is actually now a okay, now that's funny. Okay, we have a question here from TM Nerdy. Some minor books that I'm going after. I actually got one yesterday. Alan and I both managed to find copies in the wake of seeing the Superman movie. Alan and I both managed to get copies of Stormwatch 48, which is going to be the next big book because it's the first appearance of the Engineer. And the Engineer is that woman in the Superman movie with the chainsaw hands. So, or whatever you want to call that. I called it the chainsaw hands, but, it's rotating saws or whatever. So, that is a book, by the way, Stormwatch 48. If you can, get a copy, because that's going to go up fast. In the time Alan got it for $4 in the morning, by the time I was able to get one last night, I couldn't find it for less than 15. So keep an eye out for that one. That is going to be a big one. And the first appearance of Joey, the son of Metamorpho, that is Justice League Europe number 11, has also started to climb a little bit. I have a copy. If you are quick, you can find those in dollar bins. If you are quick, before people get to it. I know that one of my friends who is a dealer here in Ottawa has already taken out 5 copies from his dollar bin, and he's put them up with $15 a piece across them. And I think that that's going to go up too, because there is a chance and a rumor going on here that the next Peacemaker series is going to have Metamorpho in it, and a potential that they're going to bring him again, because the actor himself has said, I'm not done with Metamorpho. There have been discussions. And so I have a feeling that that we're going to see the character again. And those are 2 books that you should probably get. I should have pulled them, but I wasn't expecting to do this type of show tonight. So, well, actually, for the Stormwatch 48 is on the way, so I can't pull it yet. But I now have 2 of the 3 big issues of Stormwatch. 3 if you count number 1 as being one of the big ones. And someone says, I was quick with a certain character you just mentioned that I should get next week. Gee, would it be the engineer or Joey? Another thing is that I found hard is like, that I found interesting in the movie is I personally have the first appearance of, obviously not the big ones like Perry White, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Superman, Jimmy Olsen, but I have the first appearances of Cat Grant, Steve Lombard, Ronald Thorpe, who was mentioned in the thing. I've got the first appearance of Eve Tessmacher in comics. I have the first what was it? Who else was there in the thing? So anyway, that's all I can think of right now, but I know there was at least 1 or 2 other ones. The first appearance of Keelix. By the way, did everybody else notice this who have seen the Superman movie? Do you not notice that the robots look a lot like the robots they had back in the 1940s cartoon with the numbers on it? I thought that was absolutely must use 3 Willie, Seth. Go get it. Well, yeah, that is a good book. That is the one thing that I found interesting when I put together my run of Superman post-crisis, specifically the era with all the triangle years. It's amazing how many first appearances and small minor keys are in there. I was actually surprised, knowing James Gunn the way he is. I'm surprised that Bebo Bobkowski did not make an appearance with his Ace of Clubs thing, because he was pretty big in around the time that Gunn would have been a collector himself, or a guy like let's see who we got. Hi Tare. Hi Stephen. Welcome to the show. Hi Michael. I liked Superman a lot. I am definitely going to be talking more about the movie on the Superman show on Sunday, because do I have the first Cat Grant clothes? I don't understand by the clothes, but I have the book. TM Nerdy says Superman was fantastic. Let's see here. I'm trying to catch up here. Hi, Rick Woodward. Welcome to the show. Hi, Nate. Welcome to the show. This is the Matt Atkinson spontaneous edition of the Matt Show, the Matt Likes Comics Show. So, as we've got tonight. So, I also managed to pick up, speaking of knowing that Nate's in the crowd at the moment, I picked up this issue here at the Montreal Con from the Harley Yee's people as well. They had it for $8. They cut me for 7. So this, of course, is the Lois Lane where she's whipping Superman famously. Or I should say the puppet of Superman, while Superman, of course, is on the ground. You know, I do know the story. I have read the story before, but I'm looking forward to flipping through this issue. And, and it's a wonderful, wonderful Lois Lane book. Actually, K Munin aside, I have to agree with what Alan said on the show last night, for those that watched it, about Lois Lane becoming a series that people want to collect now. People, that it's a cute series and that it's and such. I've always wanted to collect them because it's part of my Superman love. But I'm seeing out there people like Nate, who also love the book, and Steven, who also love the book, and Alan. Alan sold me my first Herco, one of my first Herco books. So, and that was another thing. I guess James Gunn didn't watch my hashtags because Herco wasn't in the movie, and that was a big disappointment. When I heard there was some strange stuff going on in the post-credit scenes, I was like, is it going to be Parasite? Is it going to be Herco? No, TM Nerdy, I don't have the first Cat Grant close. Sorry. Lois Lane ran for 137 issues, Lord of Brooklyn. K Munin, she died in like half the issues. I'm just pointing that out. When they did a lot of these imaginary story ones, she ended up dying at a lot of them. I like how Lois Lane's series seems rather campy. Yes, Michael, I would agree. And honestly, I would say that after Batman, Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen were the most campiest ones in the 1960s, especially. Some of the best Lois Lane books were during that Go-Go Checks era, such as this. This is when the Catwoman issue came out, was Go-Go Checks. Some of the best Batman stories, like Eraserhead, was Lenny the Eraser, was 188. Poison Ivy came out in 181, and these were Go-Go Check books. And the Scarecrow returning in the Silver Age, that was a Go-Go Check book. There was a lot of good ones in that era. So, by the way, let's go back to the question about what minor series I'm looking to finish. I'm not looking to finish minor series as much per se as I am picking up interesting books. I would like to finish the Jennifer Blood series. I got the majority of the books, and I really loved reading them. I thought, okay, well, this is going to be a little cheesy because the covers were all this woman in a wig carrying rifles and such, machine guns and such. But I turned out to love her. The books were great. The series moved well. I banged off, like I bought about 20. I got 29 out of 30 in the first 30, and I banged through them in a day and a half because I enjoyed them so much. And it was just bang, 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 bang. And I really, really enjoyed that. So I wouldn't mind getting the 4 books I need to finish that series. What I would like to do is buy more Go-Go Checks books. The problem is like that is distracting me because when I see a Go-Go Check, for example, when I see a Go-Go Check for no reason, I buy them. And these are, and those two last two, the Captain Storm and Metamorpho, literally the only ones from that title I own. See, Go-Go Checks. That 1966 to 1967 period, I just like it that much. Eraserhead is the hero name of Shoda Alza. I'm assuming that's an anime. Game Unit. I'm not sure, guys. I don't think I know that one. Again, you check out Planetary and especially JLA Planetary. I'll certainly take a look on that. Again, you mentioned a character that I'm getting the first appearance next week. Ooh, I'm all a tingle, TM. You're going to have to message me and show me the pictures when you get them. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up then if there are no more questions. I really appreciate everybody that came out tonight and asked some questions and participated. I'm not sure who's going to be on the Superman show yet. As I said, I'm just getting back from holidays and starting to get into the groove again. But at the very least, I'll be there, and I will definitely be talking about the Superman movie on the Superman show. That's 9 p.m. Eastern on this Sunday coming, and I will be showing some books from the post-crisis era, hopefully on first appearances of some of these minor characters. When I get the first appearance of the Engineer, and by the way, for those that don't know this, the Engineer is another character that is different in their first appearance than they were on screen. The Engineer is a male in the comic books, but just for those in case they're wondering. Anyway, thank you very much for coming tonight. If you're watching on the rewind, please leave a comment below. If you want to have questions answered, I'll take the time to answer them. I love hanging out with people and talking comic books at all times. Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name's Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Good night, everybody.